don't, but you got it right, Glenn.
Yeah.
All right, we're live.
We're live. I got the Coors Light. We're ready to chill. Beer to chill.
Let's go. One last hurrah here. So had the Padres not won last night, would they have even done this game? Would they even had done a doubleheader? Or would they have just been like, we're both out of it, so who cares? Either way,
I think
we're here, and one last like wacky twist of an ending to this season with a doubleheader to wrap it up on the final weekend. I'll give you one guess what we're drinking today, boys. What is it? Tell them what it is, Clem. What are we drinking? It's a Coors Light.
How's their blue?
What are the mountains? I'm going to give you guys a multiple choice. Are the mountains A, green, B, orange, or C, blue? The mountains are blue. Blue mountains on a Coors Light to get through a miserable mess. Honestly, it's Groundhog Day, man. The last 3 weeks have been Groundhog Day, just wrapping it up here.
Did you see that stat though? There's a 1% chance, according to Fangraphs, they can do it. Tacoma tweeted out this scenario.
Yeah.
Goes,
we have to win out. The Phillies and someone else have to lose out, and the Brewers have to split.
Yep. At least lose one.
I mean, yeah. Listen, it is mathematically possible. Let me just tell you this much though: if you are a Mets fan and you are taking this seriously, you're part of the problem. I hate you. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. I'm not even being like, oh, it's like I'm pessimistic and you're optimistic and whatever. Like, if you are one of those fans, you have been enabling the Wilpons forever, and I hate your guts. So anybody who's seriously sitting around today, like, you gotta believe, kill yourself, because it's ridiculous to have your hopes up for this nonsense. Ridiculous.
To throw the KYS around in the second.
Yeah, that was a bit much.
Pretty impressive.
It's been a long run. I'm sorry. That was too much. You don't have to kill yourself, but you are part of the problem. And I've hated those Mets fans forever because they've allowed like this half-ass bullshit for so many years, because they're just like, well, as long as we're mathematically alive on the last weekend of the year, our fans will be happy, so we can keep doing this nonsense. Now, obviously, we don't have to worry about that at all with Cohen anymore, but they have been part of the problem, and that's why we need the overhaul with the fan base as well.
I woke up in the middle of the night and I checked Reddit. It was like 3 a.m. or something, and the kids woke me up. And I just went on Reddit, and like one of the first things popped up was a Mets Reddit, and it was like, fuck the Yankees. And I was like, yeah, fuck the Yankees. Like, what are we doing? Why are we saying fuck the Yankees? And it's like because they lost to whoever the fuck they played, which I guess hurt our playoff chances. And I was like, and then I go down a little more, and so I was like, oh my God, the Giants lost. This is huge. And I'm like, there's still people living and dying with this season right now. Like, hey, listen, I'm not going to hate anyone who gets into the sport, especially if baseball's like your only true love. You guys are sick puppies, though. Like, God bless you. God bless you. I'm not going to say kill yourself. I'll say God bless you.
I was going through the Tacoma replies, just hate reading all of it. They're like, oh, well, it's not mathematically possible that the other teams aren't going to win like 2 games in a row for like their doubleheader. And I'm like, dude, the Mets and Nationals like took off yesterday because neither of them want to play baseball anymore. Like they're being forced into
like, we don't
the DeGrom Scherzer game is like the only thing you have to look forward to, and like the Cy Young's already dead.
Yeah, I mean it's just like a level. Kill yourself strong, but it's like, boy, I'm happy I'm not you. Like you're a loser. You're a loser if you're sitting around being like, no, we're still alive. Like I love baseball. It's like, shut up, just shut up. The players don't even care. So why do you care? The players are like, whatever, and you're still sitting here like I picture those people in like Mets pajamas in like a Mr. Met bed, as grown adults. Like, come on, have some self-respect.
Grow up, Peter Pan, Count Chocula. I will say, there was a moment when who tweeted it yesterday? I think it was Mike Puma. Was like, they haven't decided which game Jake's going to start, and I said, why not both? I was like, if Jake DeGrom goes out and pitches 18 innings today, or I guess it'd be 14 doubleheader, I could get down with that. Like, he has a little while just to kind of get between the 2 games, rest the arm up a little, goes out and wins the Cy Young by throwing 2 wins in the same day, like it's fucking 1879 or some shit. I could have gotten down with that. But that would be actually very stupid on a million levels, because we're the Mets. We know what would happen. It's something that I won't even mention right now because I don't want to put it into the atmosphere. So that was the only positive I could see coming out of that. I'm really pissed too, because I don't know how. I should have actually asked Kevin. Kevin, I don't know how we get bets added to the Barstool Sportsbook. We gotta believe bet, where if you bet and if all those things came true, and someone goes, if you made it plus 1986, like it's not going to happen.
Oh, absolutely, I agree. I don't think I understood the full scope of the Barstool Sportsbook because I haven't been in on any of this stuff. Now that I know that we're adding like funny bets like that actually are real. I mean, we could do so much with the Mets. We could do all sorts of you gotta believe or Mets mush or Will Pond, whatever.
Could you believe this year we just had a parlay of like, will the stadium go on fire?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, to start the season, you could have a Will City Field catch on fire. I don't even think it would be plus that much. I think it'd be like even money because it always happens. But yeah, we could have, like whenever we play Mets bingo, we could turn Mets bingo into an actual bet, and you can make real money on it. That would be. I mean, I don't know what the future holds going forward. Unfortunately, fortunately, maybe the team will be good and will break this juju. But it's unfortunate that it's happening right as the sports book comes out, because we could do a whole Mets book by itself with just the Mets. That is like, will the mascot flip the fans off this year? Will the stadium catch on fire? Will the owners like berate their own players publicly? Whatever. I mean.
Which player faked eyes? You have 25 men on the roster. Who's going to get fake killed by the team?
Right. Before we get to the lineup, did you read the latest from the greatest of all time, Phil Mushnick?
Oh, yes.
I mean, Phil
what a cocksucker.
Phil Mushnick makes Colin Cowherd's backwards hat take sound like, the most reasonable, modern thing of all time. Phil Mushnick wrote an article saying that Steve Cohen is not the answer because nobody's the answer because baseball is dead, and that until they learn how to put the ball in play and how they learn how to bunt and until they learn how to do like all this old school dumb baseball shit that nobody does anymore, that Steve Cohen doesn't matter. It's like, yeah, Steve Cohen and his $14 billion and his insatiable need to win and his lifelong fandom and his desire to like own New York, none of that matters because we don't sacrifice bunt anymore. Okay, sounds good. Whatever, you goddamn idiot. That guy, he has to know what he's doing, right? I said this about Colin Cowherd with the hat thing. Like, I think at this point it's just like, hey, when someone wears a backwards hat, I have my material for the day. I think Phil Mushnick must just sit there. And with Andy Martino in the corner taking notes, like the pupil and the teacher being like, okay, now we're going to write an article that's like, let's rain on their parade with some dumbass asinine take that makes no sense at all. Carry on. It's insane, right?
I've come to a conclusion. We have to figure out how to do this the right way, but like, let's redirect cancel culture, whatever the fuck we want to call it these days, and just direct it towards like, can everyone just like block and like just ignore anything that Skip Bayless, Colin Cowherd, Andy Martino, any of them say, because they're just when we go up and we think we're dunking on them, it's that dunk it's getting onto their scoreboard. They're getting 2 points for a dunk because then like Skip Bayless gets a raise after his contract's up after he does all that shit with Dak. Like it's crazy, and the only way to do it is to literally just cut them out and just like cut them out of our lives and just ignore them, and then they will disappear. You know what I mean? They're like the one problem.
You know what? You're right, but like. Yes and no. People say that same shit about Gun Girl. And it's like, I hate to break it to you. There's a huge chunk of the country that actually believes in what Gun Girl is doing. And I kind of think the same way about some of these, like the amount of people who reached out to me after I did 1 Minute Man and were like, I don't know, Colin's kind of got a point. I was like, no, I think we do need to sit here and continue to fight the good fight because there are really people out there who believe these things. It's hard to
the Martino tweet. I was like, I'm not even giving you a quote retweet. I'm just going to take a picture of it and post it up that way because he doesn't deserve the click.
Yeah, no. And like, no credit. But at the same time, we do have to acknowledge it because the same idiots who are sitting at home thinking that we have a chance to make the playoffs might be sitting there going, you know what? We do need to bunt more. I love the fact that Dom Smith never once bunted. I think that's amazing. They never asked him to bunt in his entire minor league career or whatever. Good. Why should that guy ever bunt? It's insanity.
That's a Tony Gwynn
Yeah.
Stat.
Yeah.
Like not
Never-
even, not even in Little League when they were doing bunting drills. Like Dom Smith like sat out that day or like happened to be sick. And it's like it just has never worked out. He's Derek Zoolander. He can't turn, he doesn't even know how to bunt. He doesn't understand the how to even do it. He can't turn left. It's crazy.
Dude, when I was I guess when I was in like 8th grade, I tried out for the baseball team, and I kind of quit like when Little League wrapped up. And then I moved to a new school. All the friends I met were playing baseball. They're like, why don't you play? So I was like, all right, let me like dust off the old glove and I'll like go and try out. But I quit during like Little League when we really weren't bunting at all. So like we're in tryouts and we're in the cage and the coach is like throwing me BP. And he's like, all right, like first couple pitches you bunt. And I was like, oh, fuck, I don't know how to do that. And I mean, I've seen it before. So I just like square up. And I swear to God, my eyes might have been closed. And I just laid down like the most perfect bunt you've ever seen by complete luck. I had no idea really how to do it. I ended up making a team. And then they told me to bunt in like a live game situation. And I was like, I don't know how to do this, coach. This was just straight up luck that you ever saw me do it in the first place. But I mean, yeah, anybody who's still worrying about bunting and all that kind of shit, like get lost, go die with Mushnick. Goodbye. And on to modern baseball with Steve Cohen. Looking at the lineup today.
They're up and running right now.
Who cares? Who cares?
Right?
The
Who pitching matchup is awesome. We get treated to a short pitching matchup that wouldn't have been possible without the postponement. That's all that fucking matters.
I mean, short of a literal like perfect game, I mean, at this point, Bauer in like the 1/8 and Jake in 2-1-4, it's just not really in the cards, right?
No shot.
I mean, by the way, I hate to rain on parades, but I was speaking with the Rocket, who has, a direct line to Trevor Bauer pretty much. We can put an end to the Trevor Bauer Mets dreams. It's not happening.
Really?
Jared won't tell me what, but he's had discussions with him. He's being coy about it, but it sounds like he's had discussions with him and that he has a place in mind. And Jared calls him the Joker. He's like, he's Major League Baseball's Joker. He's not motivated by money. He's not going to be wooed by like New York. I was like, wouldn't he love to come here and like shove it down Yankee fans' throats? And he's like, he doesn't give a shit about Yankee fans. He doesn't care about any of this. He's a man who has like a weird code, and it sounds like he's already made up his mind in his head. And I was like, well, what about the money? Like eventually he's going to want a long-term contract. And he was like, doesn't care about the money. I don't know. He wouldn't give me any specifics on Friday Night Pints, but he was very like, no shot. And I was like, well, maybe we can convince him. And he's like, he has a place in mind, and that's where he's going to go. So it does not sound like we should be getting our hopes up for Bauer.
So I'm looking at the list now. Corey Kluber club option. I mean, they're gonna have to pick that up because they traded for him. He did nothing for them, and he's hurt.
It's
Robbie
basically
Ray,
Stroman,
James Paxton,
it's Stroman and Bauer, right? That's like it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do the Stroman show again. I think that's a wrap. And I don't think there's much in the coming years either. So
next year,
listen, you can tell me he's the Joker all you want. If we get silly with it, if Steve Cohen's like, here's 250 over 3. Like, I don't know. Everyone's got a number at some point. So
next year's crazy. But it's a lot of guys who are past their prime, but it's just a crazy names. Syndergaard, Kershaw, Scherzer, Verlander, Greinke, Archer, and God, I mean that's crazy. I don't know who has people might have picked up their options over the time, but this was written in July. So, but I feel like no one has really signed to that list, and obviously Verlander now, Tommy John. So
that's bizarre though, because those guys are old but not done. So there's going to have to be a lot of they're not done, they're not ready to retire, but they're also not going to be getting 7-year deals. So there's probably going to be a lot of short-term contracts floating around, right?
Yeah, you would think, right?
Let's just go get Kershaw and Greinke and get Verlander anyway. We'll just post him up for the next year, and we just have an all-star rotation from 2016. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I hope that Jared is maybe looking into it too much, or Bauer's not as crazy as he says. I mean, Bauer does make sense that Bauer would be Major League Baseball's Joker, where it's just there's no rhyme or reason. But I think I think somebody could be wooed. I don't know, unless he has a hometown or a real connection somewhere. I guess hold out hope a little bit. But like I said, I think on the podcast this week, I did think it was bizarre how out of nowhere our entire fan base was like, put it in the books. He's coming to New York. I was like, wait a minute, is there something I don't know? Is he from Queens? Is he, So I think we got ahead of ourselves a little bit. And from what little inside track we have with Jared and Bauer, it sounds like we should maybe at the very least, pump the brakes on that. So my dream of having the Cy Young, the reigning Cy Young, no matter what, might be out there. But I don't know if Jake goes crazy. Is Bauer done, or is Bauer going to pitch one more time?
No, because they clinched yesterday. So if they hadn't clinched, he said he was going to come back on short rest tomorrow. So he's done.
So his numbers are like, he can't get any worse.
Yeah, he's locked in.
Yeah, all right, it's pretty much done. Whatever, fuck it.
Kill yourself. Kill yourself. If you believe in Jake winning the Cy Young, kill yourself.
Kill yourself.
Or the dream's over. Nothing to live for anymore. Just for the record, I'm going to look up, let's see, pitching WAR, just because that's always like what the nerds will probably use in this. DeGrom's above him in WAR, for what it's worth.
Hey,
you was above DeGrom, but Hughes pitched another 13 innings, and he has a lower ERA than DeGrom now too, which I didn't realize Jake's ERA was 2.14.
Was it like 2.14?
Yeah, it went up.
You was at like 2.04, right?
2.01. And
201.
Bauer's 1.7. Bauer's 1.73. Being under 2, that like just looks such a different thing. Even though the advanced numbers, he's worse than everyone in the advanced numbers.
You got an ERA of 1.7 and other numbers that are, either leading the league or at the top of the league is tough to win Cy Young. Even in a shortened start, all that shit. 1.7 for technically the course of a season. How do you not win it? So congratulations, Trevor Bauer, you fucking loser. Come to Queens.
And we got to hit off Scherzer, so he's not getting that no-hitter like he did in 2015 when they were celebrating like they won the World Series after we were about to make the World Series.
Right. All right. Well, we're gonna do a post game. We're not doing 2 post games, right?
Yeah, we'll see you on the back end of the second one.
Right. All right.
Post
day. If you're a lunatic who's still into it, enjoy it. Otherwise, just drink your Coors Light like the rest of the normal people out there. We'll see you guys in a few hours.
Celebrate responsibly.
Goodbye.
Gotta believe.
Gotta believe. Later.